folks. This is Chris Wyatt reporting from South Africa. Leider hat die arme Heidi ihre Herzen verloren. Ja, das ist ja eine Schande. Die arme Heidi. Was ist denn los passieren? Ja, was ist passiert? Was hat Heidi gemacht? Ja, traurig, leider. So traurig. Ja, arme Heidi. Tja. Hey folks, welcome back to the program. It's Friday, August 23rd, 2024, and we've got Rugby Ascendant action coming up after this broadcast over on the other channel. I need to direct you to that. Maybe some of you will join me over there. We shall see. But anyway, let me see if I can redirect that. I've been so busy. I was doing something this morning. I'll share that with you in just a moment. You might find it interesting. You might not. Okay, well, it doesn't automatically give me the channel. That's annoying. Why is it not doing that? Come on. Stupid. There we go. Bowls of Grickles. That's the one I want. Stupid YouTube. Should automatically put me over. Okay, you'll be redirected if you want to go to the rugby broadcast after this one's over. Right. Let me get to the chat very quickly with everybody. First, I want to take a refreshing drink of V8 juice. This is a non-paid endorsement for V8 vegetable juice. Quite tasty. Usually gets in the mustache. Let me say hello to everybody in the chat. Poor Heidi. She lost her heart. Trumpy, little troublemaker that he is. And Davi, all these guys chasing after Heidi. She must be a hottie. Heidi must have been a hottie. Skalk Yandrea is here. Welcome to you, Mr. Punishment. Gus Icono is back. Brian Cox. Me again. Clive Street. Courtney doesn't like the music. Icono is here. He doesn't like what? The music? You said it many times. And then he said, I'll be honest, the polls are not looking good for Trump. I'm not saying he should concede yet. Concede? Wait, why? How does that word even enter the conversation? What planet are you on? Are you paying attention to the polls that matter? Who cares what's going on in California, Texas, Florida, or New York? Those are done and dusted. It doesn't matter who you are. You're not going to win New York and California as a Republican. You could save the planet. You can be Mother Teresa and you won't win as a Republican in those states. Those people have lost their minds. In Texas and Florida, you will not win as a Democrat. It's just not going to happen. So you really need to pay attention to the 7 battleground states, which is where the election will be won. And why is it I'm the only analyst that keeps talking about that? Nobody is talking about this. Now, I'm not watching the news programs because it's just so vomit-inducing. Fox, MSNBC, CNN, those shows are just, I can't stomach them anymore. But I'm not reading any comments from any political analyst anywhere or seeing any clips of anybody saying the battleground states is where this matters. And Trump is ahead in 5 of 7 states. Even the polls being reported by the leftist media are admitting that. They're just not focusing on it. So people need to take a chill pill. This is Donald Trump's race to win, and Kamala Harris is to lose because she will open her mouth at some point, and people realize what a demonic moron she is. Not to mention the ultimate flip-flopper. I was against fracking, but now I'm for it. But now I'm against it. I never heard of no taxes on tips for service industry employees, but now I'm for no tax on tips. But no, I'm against it. Make up your mind. Make up your mind. Just a fraud. Right. Lynette Orr is here. Okay, so John Jarvis, you're doing it again. There's not a single comment here from Courtney McBride whining about his job. He whined about the music. He doesn't like the music, but that's his opinion. Why are you attacking the guy? Knock this shit off. There's no comment here complaining about his work. Good Lord. Gabriel, welcome in from the Schweiz. Richard Kuhn, welcome back. Angus Roy MacBean. What a really cool Scottish name. Angus Roy MacBean. From the family of MacBeans with the beautiful green tartans. We know them. They're from Inverness. Come on, Sonny Jim. Lots of people are saying the same thing as me. Really, John? Whom? Not whom. Who? I haven't seen it. And certainly nobody was saying it from the moment I've been saying it ever since Kamala Harris was rising in the polls. Didn't see it. Anyway, well, I'll take your word for it, John. I haven't seen it. That doesn't mean it isn't happening, so I don't catch everything, but thank you for that input. Yeah, so poor Heidi, she lost her mind. Poor Heidi. Poor Heidi. She lost out. Anyway, folks, let's get to it on a Friday. The music, of course, provided by none other than our own Giselle, singing, of course, Bourgeois, because it's Friday. And then, of course, Heidi. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Good to see her there. So, no, I don't think Kamala will win Pennsylvania, unless they steal it. That's a possibility. Yep. Zone of interest last night. Never heard of it. Thank you for that, RJ. Never heard of that. All right, let's get on to this stuff here. So lots of stuff happening. Floyd Shivambu says the MK party is unique. Really? A disorganized vanity project led by a criminal black politician in Africa. Not exactly unique, Floyd. I'm sorry. There's nothing unique about MK party at all. So what exactly is this guy talking about? Unique. It's not unique. Give me a break. Not even remotely unique. Former EFF Vice President Floyd Shivambu has reluctantly responded to allegations made by Julius Malema suggesting he betrayed the party. Well, of course you betrayed the party. What do you think you did? You kissed it when you left the party? Give me a break. I will never betray the revolution. We are not in the business of trying to please each other's egos. We're in the business of building a revolutionary movement that is going to emancipate the black majority. Emancipate the black majority. I'm sorry. The EFF is an overwhelmingly black party. The IFP is an overwhelmingly black party. The DA is an overwhelmingly colored party. The ANC is an overwhelmingly black party. Action SA is an overwhelmingly black party. Well, that's maybe not so overwhelming. That's more mixed. The PA is an overwhelmingly colored party. MK is an overwhelmingly black party. What exactly black emancipation are you talking about? What revolution are you talking about? What revolution are you talking about, Floyd Shivambu? There is no revolution. You're a dingbat doorknob. Well, hey, if it comes to it, then there'll be no government of national unity. The ANC is committed to the socialist destruction of South Africa's private sector and its economy and the ensuing Venezuela-like impoverishment of tens of millions of South Africans, black, white, and brown, suffering, and the coming collapse of South Africa with its demonic adherence to its national health insurance scam. Yep. Section 33 of the National Health Insurance Act, the part that says medical aids in their current form will be scraped, as they won't be allowed to cover the same services as national health insurance is staying as is, even if it costs the South Africa its government of national unity. This, according to Aaron Motsoaledi, the health minister. You can come and tell me I support the universal coverage, but Section 33 must go. It's like supporting a house, but the foundation must go. Don't you know it's going to collapse? Listen, Aaron Motsoaledi, don't you know that South Africa's economy is going to collapse? But of course, that's what the ANC wants. When there's chaos, it's easier to steal because people aren't paying attention. When there's chaos, it's easier to oppress and for a charismatic leader to rise, like Mussolini, Hitler, Stalin, to impose order. Yep. That's right. The ANC wants the coming collapse. They're all for it. Well, Johannesburg's Mayor Dada Morero, who said they don't expect much change in my watch. I mean, I can't fix anything in 2 years. What do you want from me? And denied that there were problems in Sandton or in Randburg or in Rivonia. And he said there were no problems, and I can fix them. Now says he's going to fix the problems. It's because he's an idiot and he got called out. Joburg Mayor Dada Morero promises to fix aging water pipe dubbed the Republic mess. Yep, Johannesburg Mayor Dada Morero was up at dawn on Friday to visit Ferndale in the northern suburbs where a 2-story deep hole had been dug for the repair of a 40-year-old water pipe residents have dubbed the Republic mess. A massive 711-millimeter diameter pipe lies along the Republic Road and has burst more than 20 times this year alone. Work to repair the last burst began on July 26 when the pipe needed to be isolated and emptied before welders could fix the burst. How about you stop welding it and simply replace the pipe? How about that? How about you get qualified companies to do the work rather than BEE tenders? Just a thought. Just a thought. Yeah. Tito Mboweni, the one relatively competent member of the cabinet from the ANC, now has his foot up his ass or in his mouth, take your pick. Same difference, telling the EFF that they have a vital place in the political landscape of South Africa. Tito Mboweni, some celebrate what they call the demise of the EFF. They should not. He tells Malema the EFF has a role to play in South African politics. Former Finance Minister Tito Mboweni believes EFF has a role to play in South African politics. And those prophesizing its demise amid leadership troubles should not celebrate. There are some among us who are openly or privately celebrating what they call the demise of the EFF. They really shouldn't. The EFF has a role to play, like them or not. He said, the reality is the departure of the Deputy Minister of the EFF, Floyd, it can't be seen as a non-entity. It's a historic event. As the leadership of the ANC, we must analyze it in a way that is going to strengthen the ANC. We're going to be quick to celebrate the departure of Shivambu from the EFF, and we'll forget that ourselves are going through a departure of ANC members to the MK party. We must manage these departures in a manner that we do not get easily excited. The departure of Floyd Shivambu is a double-edged sword we need to manage carefully. Well, the EFF doesn't have a space in the political environment. They're simply troublemaking rabble-rousers who race hustle and endanger the public safety. So they do not have a place. They should be charged with domestic terrorism over cliques and their actions in Senegal. And until they are, they're not legitimate. Tito is wearing his ass as a scarf. Well, remember the assassination of Babita Deokaran? That, for their credit, News 24 has been carrying that story ever since she was brutally murdered and gunned down in her driveway after dropping her daughter off at school. Thankfully, her daughter had been dropped off at school. Botswana is the only well-run country in Colonel Wyatt. Well, Botswana is not in Colonel Wyatt. Did you mean in Africa? And that's not a true statement. There are plenty of well-run countries in Africa: Morocco, Seychelles, Mauritius, Rwanda, just to name a few. None of which come without their challenges. And all of those I just mentioned are run better than Botswana at this stage under Masisi. But Babita Deokaran, the assassination of her, the Tembisa scandal, which she first identified through accounting irregularities and did her job and reported, for which she gave her life, was brutally gunned down in a hail of bullets, and that crime is yet to be solved. It turns out it's 3 billion rand. 3 billion. Worse than we ever suspected. Tembisa hospital corruption losses surged by an additional $2 billion. The Special Investigating Unit has broadened the scope of its Tembisa hospital graft probe set in motion by Babita Deokaran in a mammoth 5,500 transactions worth as much as 3 billion rand. As the probe goes forward in corruption, the Hawks have all but shelved the probe into who ordered her murder. Wow. News 24 claims they can exclusively reveal that the Special Investigating Unit has placed Tembisa Hospital at the center of a complex extraction scheme which relied on pliant hospital officials who engineered the awarding of thousands of contracts. But as that probe advances, 3 years after her murder, the police investigation into who ordered her killing has gone quiet and with no leads has been downgraded to an inquiry. So the police have conveniently forgotten about Babita Deokaran, perhaps one of the most courageous of all South Africans whose life was snuffed out by corrupt officials. Or gangsters. Take your pick. Well, folks, if you saw the social media posts, you were punked. Chipotle and Chick-fil-A are not coming to South Africa. Neither restaurant will be in South Africa. It was breathlessly reported on a fake account on social media that Chick-fil-A and Chipotle were coming to South Africa. The problem with Chipotle coming to South Africa is a ripoff, almost identical taco place has been found to be created. I don't know who owns it, Famous Brands or whoever owns it, but it's a ripoff of Chipotle. It looks just like Chipotle, and everything that they do is like Chipotle. And I saw that at the mall in Santon City. Don't recall the name of it. The food is fine, but it's a complete ripoff of the style, the design, the decor, the menu of Chipotle. They completely copied exactly what Chipotle's success was. But Chipotle and Chick-fil-A are not coming. American fast food brands Chipotle and Chick-fil-A are not opening branches in South Africa. If you're a lover of fast food, you've been keen to try these popular American brands. Unfortunately, you're not going to get a chance to try them in South Africa. A few days ago, Chipotle and Chick-fil-A social media accounts popped up and got many South Africans excited. The South African Chipotle Instagram page has 7 posts advertising their popular meal options. Look at that. Chipotle restaurant, South Africa, at Canal Walk and Menlyn Park. And there's dates are going to open, November and December. Unfortunately, apparently it's a lie. The first post indicated that they'll be opening stores across the country. Guess who just landed in South Africa? We brought the flavor. What are you excited to try and find on our menu? Well, it turns out it's all fake. Fake. Fake, 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 fake. Fake, 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 fake. Well, the Democratic Alliance is accused of trying to bribe an ANC councillor in the Swellendam municipality in the Western Cape, the Overberg region, for the tune of 2 million rand to resign so that the DA can retain control of Swellendam. This seems implausible. Where's the DA going to get 2 million rand to bribe an ANC official? And would that money be better spent if you're corrupt in Gauteng, in Tshwane, or Joburg to control those councils? But with the council on knife's edge, with the DA 5 councillors plus 1 from the Freedom Front Plus to the ANC's 5, they cannot afford to lose to Freedom Front Plus. Is it Machado's? Is that the name of the place? Okay. According to Western Cape ANC spokesperson Khalid Syed, Ward Councillor Donovan Julius was approached by DA members to resign, and they alleged that if he did, he would be paid $1.5 million in cash. In a sweetened deal, he was offered another $500,000 towards his studies. Now, the DA has outright denied the allegation, saying it rejects it with contempt it deserves. It seems implausible, if not improbable, that the DA would risk their reputation as an anti-corruption party on such an insignificant municipality. Sorry if you live in Swellendam, folks. I'm not insulting your municipality. I'm just saying, in the scheme of things, it really doesn't matter. The behavior of South Africans, like many people around the world, is oftentimes quite atrocious. In the aftermath of the Miss South Africa contest, in which the vicious xenophobic attacks on the young lady born in South Africa, but trying to make her stateless with their bogus claims that she's Nigerian, and then her foolish statement after going to Nigeria to participate in Miss Universe pageant that she's Nigerian and South African. She's not. She's either one or the other. We now see the reprehensible behavior of many South Africans have been using the Bolt app to order cars in Nigeria from South Africa. And as a consequence, Nigerians who pay a lot for their petrol drive their Bolt vehicles to a location and wait for someone who never shows up, costing them petrol and time and costing them money. And apparently South Africans think this is funny. Well, it's not funny. You're useless human pieces of feces shitheads if this is what you do. And you should be prosecuted for this. Meanwhile, Bolt is taking action. Bolt has enhanced security measures and blocked ride requests across country borders amid a concerning, foolish trend by idiot South Africans and Nigerian netizens who've been requesting fake rides, wasting precious time and fuel for driver partners in both countries. So it's going both ways. Nigerians are being stupid too. The issue, which emerged from a prank involving a false ride request across borders, has been addressed with a series of swift and decisive actions to safeguard the platform's integrity and protect its users. Following a thorough investigation, Bolt has enhanced security measures such as the restriction to ride requests across countries to prevent the recurrence of such incidents. Additionally, those responsible for this illicit activity have been identified and blocked from using the Bolt app. We understand the impact the situation has had on our driver partners in Nigeria and South Africa, and we're committed to ensuring a safe, reliable, and secure experience for all our members. Yeah, well, it all started because of this nonsense. Tensions high because of silly Bolt prank, wasting drivers' time, fuel, and money. Some foolish South Africans have started a troubling trend that could hurt e-hailing drivers in both Nigeria and South Africa until Bolt fixed this. Yep, idiots. A trending video on X shows a South African man and others mocking a Nigerian driver named Kotora Ola after he canceled the ride that they had booked. And they think that's funny. They think that's funny. I think you're criminals. This is what a sunbuck is for. People misbehave. Well, a farmer and a worker are jailed after the allegation that they murdered people on the farm. Farmer worker in jail after bodies of women discovered in a pigsty. It's termed as one of the most disturbing and inhumane acts. A farmer, age 60, and a 19-year-old employee were arrested on Wednesday after the decomposed bodies of 2 women were discovered in a pigsty at a farm in Sibayang policing area outside Mankweng in Limpopo province. Limpopo police spokesperson Hulani Mashaba said this following a missing persons report of a 45-year-old woman who disappeared after visiting the farm. A search revealed the missing woman's body and another body, a 35-year-old foreign woman, both with gunshot wounds. The 47-year-old foreign man who was with the victims was also shot and hospitalized. The bodies of the victims were found in a badly decomposed state after just a couple days. That's crazy. This is one of the most disturbing and inhumane acts in our province, and we will ensure those responsible face the full might of the law. 2 suspects are expected to appear in the magistrate's court today on 2 counts of murder and 1 of attempted murder. No one has the right to take the law in their own hands. No one must shoot and kill people no matter the offense. Well, yes and no. If someone attempts to kill you and someone attempts to kill you in your home, people have the right of self-defense. That is an internationally recognized standard. that states try to steal from people. Well, bad news for Sia Khaleesi. The French are not letting go. They want money, and they want it now. Sia Khaleesi's return to the Sharks is on the brink of collapse after Racing 92's owner demands all of his money up front. The Racing 92 owner says, "Show me the money!" Sia Khaleesi may not be moving back to South Africa after all, due to the proposed move hitting a snag during negotiations between the Sharks and Racing 92. He had a 3-year contract with a top 14 outfit. But his performance was heavily criticized by owner Jackie Lorenzetti, who, according to Rugby Pass, is now playing a crucial role in preventing the deal from being done. 17 million rand, or 726,000 pounds, $890,000, is the fee that they want, and they want it up front. But the Sharks want to pay in installments. I say don't pay. Go back to Racing 92 and finish out your contract. That's the purpose of contract. You sign the contract, finish up your terms of it. Do your last 2 years in France and, show that Lorenzetti is wrong. There you go. Show that he's wrong. Well, Lucara Diamond in Botswana has discovered the world's second largest ever mined diamond. We cover that. An epic 2,492 carat diamond from the Caraway mine. This is the company I told you about, based in British Columbia. It's a penny stock, trading for about 30 cents a share US right now. Yep, and they found this diamond. And this is on top of other impressive finds, including the 1,758 carat Suelo and the 1,109 carat Lesedi La Rona. These are diamonds that they found. 3 massive diamonds now have been found by this firm in Botswana. And there's a picture of it. Look at that. Look at Makwetsi Masisi looking at the diamond. That thing is freaking huge, man. Look at that. Here it is on the table all by its lonesome. Wow. That's a big diamond. That's a big diamond. Democratic Republic of Congo boat accident death toll now rises to at least 29. The death toll from riverboat accident in western DRC has risen to at least 29, with 128 survivors identified and an unknown number still missing. Rescue efforts have been underway for days after the boat carrying 250 to 300 passengers overturned on Sunday night when it hit tree trunks underwater in a river in Kutu territory. Overloading and navigating at night in contravention of the rules are seen as the causes of this tragedy. Wow. The 29 known fatalities include 15 women and 1 child. This happens all the time in the DRC and in other countries in Central Africa where these boats are overloaded, these ferries and these boats traversing these rivers, dangerous conditions with unqualified boat captains, and lives are lost. Yep, that's what happens when you don't have governance. Divers have recovered the final body from that tragic tornado, well span, whatever it was, water spout that took down that luxury liner. And the last body is found and been covered. That's the daughter. The body believed to be that of Hannah Lynch, the 18-year-old daughter of British tycoon Mike Lynch, has been recovered from the wreck of the super yacht that sank off Sicily. A CNN team on the ground saw divers carry the final body bag from the rescue boat onto the harbor at Porticello, bringing an end to a 5-day search by Italian authorities for the 7 victims. The wreck is located in 50 meters underwater. Divers had only around 12 minutes to reach the site and explore the cabins before having to resurface. That's why it's taken so long. Hers was the final body being searched for, and the body of her father was retrieved and identified on Thursday. The water spout took this thing down. 22 passengers and crew were on board. It sank on Monday after its mast. One of the tallest in the world broke in half during a violent storm. 15 people were rescued on Monday, and 1 body is recovered, thought to be that of onboard chef Ricardo Thomas. Wow. Authorities are still working to understand how the 56-meter yacht sank so quickly. Unverified security camera footage released Wednesday appeared to show the moment that a water spout spun over Sicily sank the vessel. One witness, the owner of a nearby villa, looked out to see where the thing was anchored. Later watched back his CCTV that captured the yacht sinking. In just 60 seconds, you can see the ship disappear. You can see clearly what's happening. There's nothing that could be done for the vessel. It disappeared in a very short time. Oh, that's horrible. What a horrible situation. Well, German NATO base, used to be an American air base at Geilenkirchen, has now raised its threat level concern to Charlie. The NATO air base in Geilenkirchen has raised a security alert after reports of a potential threat. The move led to non-essential staff being sent home as a safety measure. NATO base in Western Germany on Thursday said it raised its security to the second highest level, citing intelligence reports of a potential threat. Well, so it's not just Americans they're targeting, it's NATO. Well, here are the takeaways, according to CNN, the captured news network, from Kamala Harris's national convention. Oh, look, she looks so hopeful. Those teeth look like shark's teeth. According to CNN, she offers a return to pre-Trump normalcy. I'm sorry, pre-Trump normalcy? When has this country been normal since 1990? It hasn't been normal since 1990. We suffered through the embarrassment of the Clinton years and our waddling, fumbling, clueless foreign policy, into the Bush years of conflict that lasted for years around the globe, into the Obama years of continued and increased conflict, wars started by Obama, and chaos and race hustling, and a degree of normalcy under Donald Trump, although the constant attacks on him made it look like we weren't suffering or going through a period of normalcy. And then we went through the disastrous, worst presidency in the history of the United States, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. The worst regime in the history of this country, worse than Garfield, worse than anyone. So what normalcy are we returning to? There's no normalcy. This is a lie by CNN. These are fake journalists telling fairy tales. Harris gets personal. She tells stories of her growing up, the daughter of two immigrants and academics, and her, middle class academics, wealthy, privileged academics. That's not middle class. Allies back up her resume. What a bunch of bullshit that is. And we meet the Harris clan. Look at her little grandnieces telling people how to pronounce her name properly. Make sure they don't show you the Indian ones, just the black ones. And they get all these people to talk about gun violence who stand up there. The Central Park 5 member says Trump wanted us dead. Now, this Central Park, if you remember, this was a investment banker who was brutally gang raped, beaten to within an inch of her life, was in a coma when she was recovered from Central Park, gang raped by somebody. And then there was a huge public backlash against these black teens who were arrested by the cops, the usual suspects. They went and arrested these kids because they were in the park that night. And then they tortured them, apparently, and coerced confessions out of them. That's what supposedly happened. We didn't know that they coerced it until many years later. Many people called for them to pay for the price of gang raping this young woman. She's white. They're black. Now they're blaming it all on Trump. Well, it wasn't Trump. That's horseshit. Donald Trump was a private citizen expressing his opinion, and he's not the reason why they were coerced confessions. They were coerced confessions because the political figures and the media put pressure on the police, and the police committed crimes. Trump has a long history of weaponizing racial resentments for political gain. That's a lie, including pushing birtherism during Barack Obama's presidency. Well, it was a legitimate question. And imposing a ban on travel to the United States from 6 majority Muslim countries. That is a lie. That is a lie. That is a lie. Everything there is a lie, especially the last one. I've refuted this garbage time and again. This is not news. This is propaganda from CNN. But the first instance of Trump utilizing that brand of politics was the Central Park 5. That's simply not true. In 1989, 5 black and Latino boys were wrongfully convicted of raping and assaulting a woman jogging in New York City Central Park. Trump, then just a New York real estate developer, took out and signed full-page newspaper ads calling for the boys to be executed. They were convicted, but they were never executed. Bring back the death penalty, bring back our police. These boys were later exonerated, 4 of them in 2002, the last in 2022, after another man confessed to the attack and DNA evidence confirmed his involvement. On Thursday night, 4 of the 5 appeared on stage at the DNC. Every day as we walked in the courtroom, people screamed at us, threatened us because of Donald Trump. No. They threatened you because of what the media did and because of what the political establishment in New York did and because people are just bigots. That's why they did it. I mean, you confessed. Now, true, your confession was coerced or extracted under torture, but Donald Trump didn't do that to you. That's not why people were yelling at you. Stop lying. You want sympathy? You're not going to get it for being a liar. Yusef Salam, who's now a New York City councilman, said Trump wanted us dead. Well, yeah, most of the city wanted you dead. They were wrong, but they wanted you dead. He's never changed. He never will, Salam said. That man thinks that hate is an animating force in America. It's not. We have the constitutional right to vote. In fact, it's a human right. So he said, no, voting is not a human right. Voting is an established right granted by states. It's not a human right. You're a moron. And I have no empathy for your time in prison because of your lies. If you weren't such a liar, then you'd have my empathy. Gaza war opponents are denied speaking spot at the DNC, Democratic National Convention. They're not there. All the people that want to hate on Harris were kept off stage in a very convenient. Democrats for Palestinian rights. Well, you're not a Democrat. What are you doing there? Yep. Celebrities make their mark. Yeah. Now, those are the 5 talking points. Well, Harris has her speech last night and proves she knows how she needs to win. Yeah. Don't talk to the press. Get a makeover, lie about your positions, and coast to victory with the $2 billion of free press by the corrupt legacy media. That's the path. Yep. Vice President Harris on Thursday delivered an impassioned speech in which she reintroduced herself to the nation, connecting her past, representing the people as a prosecutor with a desire to be a president for all Americans. I'll be a president who unites us around our highest aspirations, a president who listens and leads, who is realistic, practical, and has common sense, and always fights for American people from the courthouse to the White House, and that has been a life's work. Well, no, it hasn't. You haven't done any of that. You've been a on your mattress, leg spread clown who rose to political prominence because of media. You never accomplished anything in your life. You lie every time you turn around. You lied about smoking weed in college, listening to rappers who weren't even born yet or who were in diapers. They weren't rapping then. You lied to the American people. You facilitated insurrection in 2020 by raising bail money for criminals who violently tried to overthrow the United States. You are a treasonous bastard, and that's who you really are, Kamala Harris, and that's the facts. That's the facts. You are a opportunist, just like your boss, Joe Biden, who lied to the American people endlessly. Well, a recession is coming to the U.S., according to an analyst. It's already here, buddy. It's already here. A few rate cuts aren't going to prevent the recession, according to a strategist. Contrary to what many believe, investment research firm BCA Research sees the economy is on the cusp of a recession, and the predicted upcoming Federal Reserve rate cuts will not be sufficient to steer markets out of it. Every single one of us now believes there's a recession. That's exactly the opposite of what the market believes, says Gary Evans. He pointed to signs the economy is slowing down, including what he called the deteriorating U.S. labor market. Yep, absolutely. He said a few rate cuts are not going to prevent a recession. Well, we're already in a recession, buddy. We're already in it, and we're driven that way by inflation. It drove us that way. Yep. Well, how fast will rates come down? The bankers are meeting in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Why can't they meet in Washington, D.C.? Why do they have to go to a vacation spot like Jackson Hole and waste millions of dollars of our money? With the Federal Reserve considered certain to start cutting its benchmark interest rates next month, Chair Jerome Powell says highly anticipated speech today at an economic conference will be closely watched for any hints about how any additional rate cuts might be in the pipeline. He's expected to say the Fed has become more confident that inflation is nearing its 2% target more than 2 years after it hit a painful 4-decade high. Well, why do they have to go to Jackson Hole to decide what the rates are going to be? This is scumbag politicians, and yes, I know the Federal Reserve is a bank, but they're political. Scumbag politicians wasting our money going on junkets and vacations rather than dealing with the issues where they should be, at their offices in town. The Secret Service Pittsburgh employees have been placed on administrative leave over the failed attempt to kill Donald Trump. Look at that photograph. You can see the clown right on the roof. No one, how can they not see him? Secret Service said any identified as substantiated violations of policy will be investigated. Several members of U.S. Secret Service Pittsburgh field offices have reportedly been placed on administrative leave. Finally, 2+ or over a month after the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. A different group of Secret Service agents specifically assigned to Trump's detail remain operational. Anthony Guglielmo, U.S. Secret Service's chief of communications, told Fox News in a statement the agency's personnel are held to the highest professional standards. No, they're not. No, they're not. We've seen female agents who are half the height of Donald Trump standing there unable to protect him. Then we see female agents fumbling for their weapons and standing around completely confused and lost and frightened like little rabbits sitting there as Trump is put in a vehicle. This is nonsense. Well, a jury has sided with a Pennsylvania man who was tarred and feathered because he's a conservative. His school district destroyed his reputation and lied, claiming he participated in the January 6 events when he wasn't even there. They tried to silence his speech because he posted things on social media, and they violated his First Amendment rights. A jury has found that they are corrupt and wrong. And this is what's happening all over America. A Pennsylvania school district violated a teacher's constitutional rights by falsely suggesting he took part in the U.S. Capitol riot on January 6, 2021, according to a federal jury. After an 11-day trial, jurors found that the Allentown School District retaliated against Jason Moorhead when it suspended him after the deadly insurrection, well, it wasn't deadly insurrection, that's a lie, in the nation's capital, and asserted he was involved in the Electoral College protests that took place at the United States Capitol building. Although Moorhead was in Washington, D.C. to attend his rally, he never got closer than a mile to the Capitol and was not among the rioters who stormed the building, and he's never been charged with a crime. Jurors decided on Friday that the district, one of the largest in the state with more than 16,000 students, should pay him $125,000 for economic damages. The jury also found the school board member Lisa Conover and former board president Nancy Wilt acted maliciously or wantonly, ordering Conover to pay $6,000 in punitive damages and Wilt to pay $500. One of the school district's lawyers, Shovev Kralsnek, said in a brief statement Thursday the district respects the jury's verdict and is considering its legal options. It is looking forward to continuing its mission to indoctrinate the Allentown community and the poor victims who are the students there. That's not what it says. I altered that. Yep. Anyway, so they went after him. The trial evidence showed the district's lawyer and PR firm advised district officials to issue a brief statement about the teacher having been in Washington. Instead, top district officials signed off on a longer, detailed false statement without even speaking to him. The district also found fault with several of Moorhead's social media posts about the events January 6th. At one point, Moorhead posted a selfie of himself on Facebook in a Make America Great Again hat and carrying a Revolutionary-era war flag, captioning it, "Doing my civic duty." Moorhead also shared a post that said, "Don't worry, everyone in the Capitol is insured." This is constitutionally protected free speech under the First Amendment. And the school district, these woke school districts, attempted to silence. Now, this teacher never introduced any of this in his classroom. He never tried to inculcate or indoctrinate his students. He never shared his political views in class. Yet they went after him because of his constitutional rights. They violated them. This is what's happening on a daily basis all around the country. People are silenced. There's a lot of things that I need to say, that I should say, but I can't say because the censorship platform will take away my channel. We saw that before. They falsely accused me of saying things I never said and took away my channel under a previous regime on Facebook, on YouTube. So this attack on citizens and their free speech is revolting. And they owe this man a lot more than $125,000. But free speech wins. Well, a suspended four-star Army general who's race hustling is back in the news. He's asking for his command back after pressuring a panel to prop up a career of unfit subordinate. A top Army general suspended earlier this year following a Military.com investigation into his attempts to influence a subordinate officer's promotion is asking Army Secretary General Christine Wormuth to be placed back in command. And she'll probably put him back. She's woke. General Charles Hamilton, who as head of the Army Materiel Command oversaw much of the service's logistics operations, wrote a letter to Wormuth on Friday asking to be reinstated. Hamilton, who is black, claimed in a letter that he had to intervene in the Army's command assessment program selection last fall because he felt the process is racist and would unfairly handle the selection of black subordinate officer. The system is racist. I'm sorry, asswipe. Are you not a four-star frickin' general? Are you not black? Was Kip Ward not black? Was Lloyd Austin not black? The system is racist. These people are shitheads. The fact that they're elevated this level of promotion, they're just pure shitheads. Unbelievable. Black officers make up just 6% of the officer corps when I came in. Now they make up a significantly higher percentage, closer to 9%. But over 20% of our general officers are black. That is a 200% representation for the percentage of black officers in the Army. If the system is racist, it is racist against white officers. And we've already had a class action lawsuit against the Army for its racism against white officers 20 years ago, in which majors and lieutenant colonels were overlooking colonels for promotion because they were more qualified and they were white. But they illegally violated federal law and promoted black officers who weren't as qualified so that we had larger representation of black officers. And as a consequence, we have shitheads like General Hamilton here. This is unbelievable. The system is racist. I'm sorry. Are you a major complaining the system is racist? No, you're a four-star general. These people are unbelievable. Unbelievable. He was swiftly suspended in March after reporting revealed he pulled strings for his subordinate, lobbying 3 generals on the assessment panel and successfully pushing to get the officer a second board just days after the first, despite the fact she'd been found unfit for command. I respectfully ask that you allow me to resume command and continue leading our soldiers and civilians in one of the Army's most important, impactful commands. I have been brutally honest about my concerns with the command assessment program's disparate impact on black officers. It isn't why your comments aren't why you were relieved. You were relieved because you used your command position illegitimately. You are unfit for command, General. You have no business serving in command. You have no business being in the Army. You're a race hustler. The Army doesn't need race hustlers. You're a liar. Be gone. Now, Military.com has not released the subordinate's name because they found no wrongdoing on her part, and that's fair. Yep. 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 If he gets separated, he could lose his rank, revert back to a 2-star general. Yep. Maybe a 3-star. No, shame on him. This is disgraceful. Disgraceful. Well, folks, I know you're waiting for this. It's time to rush out and get it. I know you're waiting. You're desperate for this, right? You guys ready? You're waiting. Okay. Yeah, the new coronavirus vaccine is available. I know you're waiting on that. Yeah, it's exciting times, folks. New coronavirus vaccines are now approved. Here's what to know. The Washington Post gleefully reports that the mRNA coronavirus vaccines from Pfizer and Moderna tailored for the KP.2 variant could be available. Wow. The Food and Drug Administration has now approved new coronavirus vaccines, clearing the way for shots manufactured by Pfizer and Moderna to start hitting the market next week. Health officials encourage annual vaccination against coronavirus similar to annual flu shots. Everyone 6 months and older, 6 months should receive it, according to the Centers for Disease Control. Hey, folks, look, don't stampede. Don't leave my broadcast. Don't let me go from 70 down to 3 viewers because you ran out to the local pharmacy to get your jab. Don't do that. Don't wait. Don't do that. You can wait till next week to get your jab. You're waiting on it. Sudden fame for Tim Walz's bizarre son. And I'm going to talk about this, and I'll tell you why, because of hypocrisy. Sudden fame for Tim Walz's son focuses attention on challenging people with learning disabilities. This behavior is not a consequence of learning disabilities, folks.
Gus Walz sat front row for the biggest moment of his father's life.
Okay, that looks pretty calm.
Exploded, streaming down his face, pointing to his father, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, as he accepted the Democratic.
That doesn't look very calm. So this is nonsense. An unexpected highlight of the Democratic National Convention was a lowlight to me. A night through was an outburst of pride from the son of Vice Presidential candidate Tim Walz. "That's my dad!" said 17-year-old Gus Walz. He could be seen exclaiming Wednesday night. He stood, tears streaming down his face, and pointed to his father. He wept through much of the 16-minute speech. Now, the media, when Donald Trump ran in 2016, we saw the media gleefully claim that Barron Trump looks to be autistic. He looks like a child with developmental disabilities. They attacked him. He doesn't have any disabilities, but they attacked him for having disabilities, which they falsely claimed he had. Attacking a 12-year-old, which is faux pas. That's not something he's done. No one went after Sasha and Malia, the little Obama scumbag kids. No one went after them. No one said anything about them when they were minors. But they went after Barron Trump, who did nothing to anybody, who's an impressive young man. And they claimed he had autism. And of course, Rosie O'Donnell, disgusting, vile piece of human sewage that she is, she led a campaign attacking him. And the media ran with this. They attacked Barron Trump, and they periodically attacked him since then. There's no basis to attack this young man. He's a very impressive young man. But they did it. Now, in the case of Tim Walz's son, Gus, who acts like an idiot on national television, I wouldn't normally comment, but he's 17, not 12. So he's nearly an adult. He's acting like a moron out there. And the media runs and goes, oh, he has disabilities. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is not something that causes someone to behave like that. Poor impulse control, immaturity causes someone to act like that. That's what that is. And he looked like a fool. It wasn't heartfelt. I mean, crying is fine. His sister is crying. She's emotional. That's cool. He's acting like a rabid lunatic. And the media is trying to cover for that by claiming he has a disability, which causes this. This is nonsense. Now they'll spin this into, and this brings attention to those with attention deficit disorder, whom we've been putting on Ritalin for 30 years. No, this is the hypocrisy is unbelievable. So it happened the other night. I didn't say anything about it, but now the media is coming out and claiming it's because he has attention deficit disorder. The media has truth-telling disorder. They have honesty disorder. They can't function. Can't do it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Robert Kennedy Jr., Bobby Kennedy Jr. has suspended his campaign and removed his name from the ballot in Arizona. Rumor is today he will join the Trump campaign. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. withdraws presidential bid in Arizona. The independent U.S. presidential candidate Robert Kennedy has filed paperwork to withdraw from presidential ballots in the state of Arizona. The Arizona withdrawal came as Kennedy was set to address the nation Friday in Arizona. I don't know what time he's supposed to. Let's see when that is. I hope it's tonight. Kennedy. Let's see what time this is, if I can cover it. Okay, set to speak. Okay, what time? Let me see. 2 p.m. I'll be on air. My goodness. Scheduled to speak at 2 p.m. Eastern time. All right, so I'm going to miss it. That's a shame because I'll be covering the rugby. I'll see if it's during halftime. If it is, I'll bring it up and we'll save it. Wow. Robert Kennedy and Donald Trump are set to appear miles apart in Arizona. Yeah, speculation grows that Kennedy could drop his independent bid. Well, he will drop his independent bid. We know that. That's going to happen. That's not could be. That's going to happen. So, interesting. So, you want to know the 10 worst states to live in, according to Business Insider? Not exactly a reliable publication, but boy, let's talk about that. According to Business Insider, the 10 worst states in America to live in. Yep, the number of people making major moves, such as one state to another, is rising. Yep, 8.2 million people moved to a different state in 2022. That's not unusual, though, folks. A recent Wallet Hub study ranked all states based on how good they are to live in. It considered 5 key parameters: affordability, economy, education, and health, quality of life, and safety. They evaluated states on 51 metrics such as cost of living, unemployment, crime, access to activities, and the quality of local school and health systems. Each state was given an overall score across the 5 categories. So, worst states in the country live in. Arizona. Wow. The Grand Canyon State, best known for its national parks and scenic mountain landscapes, was ranked 44th out of 50 states for education and health and 40th for safety. Well, that's because all the criminal alien invading is pouring across the border. Oregon. Well, that's because leftists run Oregon. You know, Oregon's a shame. It's such a beautiful natural location, but it's ruined by the leftists. Expect to experience great quality of life in the Beaver State. It ranked 14th for quality of life, but it comes at a cost. Yep, and a low affordability and safety, with the economy, education, health not far behind. South Carolina, the Palmetto State, it's got bad education and health care are poor. Oklahoma. In the education metrics, Oklahoma scored low in high school graduation rates among low-income students. Well, that's because Oklahoma is loaded with Native American reservations in which education standards are very poor, and that drags down the overall numbers for Oklahoma. Mississippi. Well, that's where Brett lives. With rising costs at the top of Americans' minds, Mississippi's inclusion may come as a relief for some. Really? Oh, that's because it's affordable. Yeah, but it stands behind for safety and quality of life categories. Nearly 1 in 5 residents lives in poverty. The state also experiences high infant mortality and high obesity rates. There you go. But obesity is not a consequence of the state. It's a consequence of personal choices. So that's Mississippi. Then comes Nevada. That's a bit of a surprise. The Silver State scored low across multiple categories. Affordability, that makes sense. Education and health and safety. But it's a beautiful state. Yep. Alaska. Well, that's an incredibly expensive place to live, and the weather sucks. Yep. Ranks poorly on affordability. It is one of the most expensive states to live in. It's isolated. Arkansas. Yep, it's the 3rd worst state to live in, according to them, due to its economy, education, and health facilities. But it is pretty good for affordability. New Mexico. Wow, the land of enchantment, known for its prehistoric art and high-tech industries, ranked 48th. Wow. That's crazy. Ranks highest in violent crime rates in the nation, with more than 700 violent crimes per 100,000 residents. Wow, that's crazy. And Louisiana, the worst state to live in, according to this. 1 in 5 people live in poverty. 28.7% of its roads are in poor condition. 629 violent crimes per 100,000. 65% higher than the national average take place here. Also does poorly on the health front. My goodness. So, Louisiana, the worst state in the union to live in. Well, I've never been to Louisiana. One of the few states I've never visited, so I really can't say. All right, so Kenny's going to speak at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be on about 2 p.m. We should be at halftime for the Bulls game, so I'll bring it up, and if it's on, I'll play it during halftime. Yep. All right, let's see what people got to say in the chat. Right, let's go back to that. I got a little bit of time here. Oh, not a lot of chat going on here, folks. You guys are slow. Chat rate's 1. You must be paying attention to me. What will Trump do with Ukraine and Russia? Because now the Russians have no real leverage, right? I don't understand your linking there. What will Trump do with Ukraine and Russia? Nothing. He doesn't own either one of them. He'll talk to Putin and tell him to stop his nonsense. He'll talk to Zelensky and say we're cutting off the money, so you better go to the negotiating table and end this conflict. That's what he'll do. Hey, Sue, George, Kamala Harris is like Ursula von der Leyen. They seem to care more about the job than actually doing something. I agree, Icona. Hey, Marilyn's here. Helen Rich is here. Patrick is so sick of this cult of hating Trump. So many have no solid reason. I don't particularly like Trump and certainly not his personality, but he's the best out there. Exactly, Patrick. That's exactly right. That's exactly the situation. Congo Chris says, Guten Tag, Herr Chris. Guten Tag for you. She facilitated the incarceration of countless people of color in Canada's possession. Well, yes, she did, but I don't really care about that. It was a criminal act. They go to jail for that. I care about all the fraud that she is. Allison, good evening. It is the weekend. That's correct. Keith says, not sure about performance of close security protection within 1 second of Trump dropping to the ground, 2 seconds for a shot. Actually, that's not it. I played the video. I timed it. It was over 3.4 seconds before anyone reached Trump. Anyone reached Trump. It wasn't 1 second. That's a myth. I got the video. We can watch it. We can play it right now. Let's play it right now. Here we go. We got the Trump shot. Here we go.
And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
All right, let's play it again. You ready?
And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
1, 2, 3, 3.4 seconds before anybody got to Trump. Yep. A friend of 26 years died with cancer. I'm sorry to hear that. Regardless of what Kenny does, read Anthony. You mean the real Anthony Fauci? Do you mean this book? Is that the one you're talking about? Is that the one you're talking about? Oregon, the home of strange cults. Indeed. And they're called Democrats. Hey, Misty, how's it going? What else? He said a ceasefire, but I don't think Ukraine would want that. Ukraine may not have no option. They're running out of people to send into the meat grinder. Yep, indeed. That's the exact book. Okay, cool. Yep. Saw a photo of his ear taken yesterday. It looks like it's never been shot. And that's because of his ear wasn't blown apart. They didn't blow part of the ear out. It hit the ear. I'll pull my ear out here. God bless it. Where's the? Come on, I can't. There we go. So it hit the ear. I can't get my ear out. It hit the ear and it pierced. It pierced here. It ripped this open. So it ripped that like that. It ripped that part of the ear open. It didn't obliterate it. Just ripped it open. It split it. And so they stitched it back together and it healed. So there you go. Ukraine's front lines in Donbass are collapsing. That's why they're trying. Exactly. The Ukraine is in deep kimchi. It's ill-advised. It's okay. So have you heard any analysts say this? Okay, has anyone heard? Okay, is Keith all? Is John Jarvis still here? Has anyone said this, or is this the first time you're gonna hear this? It's not on the same scale because Hitler took a much bigger risk, but the Kursk salient is akin to the Battle of the Bulge. The Germans' last gasp to stop the Allied advance by breaking through, getting to the shore and cutting off Allied supply routes and cutting off forces and circling. The Battle of the Bulge, the race to the sea, which never got that far, is very much akin to what the Ukrainians foolishly did with the Kursk salient. Has anyone else said that? I've heard no one say that. I'm giving that analysis right now. John Jarvis, you here? Have you heard someone else? Because you watch a lot of the news. Like you said earlier, other people saying the same thing I'm saying about the one thing. I haven't seen this. So maybe John has heard someone say this. Has anyone heard an analyst tell you that? Comparing the Kursk salient in 2024 with the Battle Bulge of 1945. Just saying. Or 44, December 44, excuse me. Well, outfiltration. Who said that with the ear? Oh, Arctic. So I had surgery here. I had surgery right here, right there, a couple months ago. There's no scar. Outpatient surgery. Sliced me open, dug in there, stitched it back up. You can't see a single scar. I also had surgery over here. You can see a scar. It was a bigger one. So, just because you get shot doesn't mean there's going to be a scar. They don't got him a fake ear. Stop that nonsense. Stop that nonsense. Anyway, 69 people here, 51 likes. It looks like it's a slow Friday. What's going on there? What is going on there? Detroit Rock City Kiss. The best states to live in? Well, Garrett, I don't even know that all those are the bad states. I mean, Nevada's on my list. If I'm going to move somewhere, I'd consider moving to Nevada. Carson City. The problem is it's too expensive. That's the challenge. I mean, I wouldn't mind living in Vegas. But I mean, it's too expensive. You'd have to live on the outskirts and come in town. But I'd want to live in Vegas. But Nevada, I looked at the property recently. Actually, I didn't tell you about this, but I've actually looked at property near Carson City on the border with California and considered moving to Nevada. It's just too expensive is the problem. It's beautiful. It's lovely. But yeah, another place I would like to live is Wyoming. And I might just do that at some point. I mean, just had enough with this Commonwealth of Pennsylvania garbage and move to Wyoming. But Wyoming is a brilliant place. And Wyoming can be expensive, but it's lovely. You can't live in Vegas with my gambling habit. I don't have your gambling habit, Arctic. I don't gamble, so I can live there. Detroit used to be the hub of car design and building. Sad has fallen to reflect the spell. Check what's name. Oh, Detritus. Or as Brits like to say, detritus. The detritus. It's detritus. Anyway, so what are the best states, Garrett? It's a matter of perception. I love New Hampshire, but it's expensive. And it's too close to Boston, New York. So you get day trippers. I love New Hampshire. I love Wyoming. I love the panhandle of Idaho, not the rest of Idaho. It's kind of boring. I used to love Colorado, but it's gone. I used to love New Mexico, but it's gone. And that's kind of it, the places I really like. Zero tax states, well, there's no such thing as zero tax. They get you one way or another, but the most favorable tax states. You got Alaska and you got Wyoming that are at the top of that list. When it comes to personal income taxes, you can throw in Tennessee, which has no tax. You can throw in Texas, which has no personal income tax. You can throw in Florida, has no income tax. The problem with Florida, though, is that you have excessively high insurance rates. You have overcrowding, high prices because people are flooding in there. You are in the path of hurricanes, which is dumb. I wouldn't live there. It's a little freaking peninsula that sticks out into the hurricane alley. It's dumb. And then on top of all that, Florida has an intangibles tax, which is what they want to introduce at the federal level. Kamala Harris wants an intangibles tax so that they can tax your net worth. So if you have mutual funds, you've invested in mutual funds, they'll put a tax in. Florida already has this. And they'll say that on this date, they'll pick a date, what's the value of your funds? And if your funds are worth $10,000, but you haven't realized any. And by the way, that includes money you've already invested. They're stealing your own money. You've already paid taxes. So if you put $1,000 into a mutual fund and it grows to $10,000, you don't realize, you don't sell it, so there's no gain there. The intangibles tax will tax you on $10,000. So they'll take a percentage, 3, 5, 7% of your money off the $10,000, including the $1,000 you invested, which you've already paid income tax on, and they'll confiscate that because that's your wealth. Well, that's bullshit. That's nonsense. Intangibles tax is simply confiscation of wealth is what it is. It's not even a tax. It's confiscation outright. We can argue that taxes are confiscation, but intangibles tax is simply confiscation. If you're worth $1 million and they have 3%, you have to pay $30,000. Well, where does the $30,000 come from? I don't have $30,000. I don't have $1 million, but I don't have $30,000 sitting around in cash. So where am I going to get it from? I have to sell my assets to pay a tax. Because of self-employment tax, virtually all the money I make from my consulting goes to pay the taxes on my investment income for my dividends and things like that. I have to pay taxes, so almost all my consulting income goes to pay for that. And the self-employment tax, it's ridiculous. So if you have an intangibles tax, you force people to sell their resources. Now, they want the intangibles tax to go on stocks and bonds, mutual funds, but they could expand that to other property, like homes. So you'd have to pay a tax, an intangibles tax on your home. Well, who determines what the value of your home is? If I look at the mortgage company, they're telling me the value of my home went up to a peak 5 months ago, and now it's worth about 10% less. So what do I pay the tax on? I'm already paying property taxes. Do I pay an intangibles tax on the lower value or the higher value? I didn't realize a gain on that. Why am I paying taxes on that? It's not real. Those things aren't real. The dividend income that comes off of it is real. I get money, and you want to tax that, you tax that. But intangibles, what a crock. George says you'll own nothing and be happy. Yeah, that's the problem. Well, come make that happen. 450 million guns. Let's see how that goes for them. Hey, Gita, how's it going? Arctic has sweaty balls. Is Oklahoma too quiet for you? No, I just don't find Oklahoma very appealing. It's boring. I've been to Oklahoma. I've been to Oklahoma City. It's one of the most boring cities I've ever seen in America. When stocks and real estate values drop, are they going to reimburse me? Nope, exactly not. Light rate, exactly right. And they'll pick the highest value during the year. The highest that your assets were valued at during the year, they'll say that's the rate you have to pay at. This is just communist confiscation. This cannot be allowed to stand. This, you think there was a Boston Tea Party? There'll be a Tea Party for this. What this will do is destroy the stock market. It will destroy investment. It will destroy entrepreneurialism because people will not invest in stocks. They'll just put their money in cash, in savings bonds. That's what's going to happen. It's the financialization of communist capitalism. Oh, there you go. That's an interesting description. Hey, there's John Jarvis. Intangibles. Surely a better phrase would be unrealized capital gain. Well, that's a correct term, John. You've hit it. That's what it is. It's taxing unrealized capital gains. But it's not just taxing the gains. It's taxing the assets. So let me put this in perspective. Let's say you hear that NVIDIA is a good investment. You open a brokerage account. You transfer $10,000 from your savings account to your brokerage account. You buy NVIDIA stock, which will get you like, a quarter of a share right now. But let's pretend you get, okay, so you'll get NVIDIA stock, $10,000 worth. Well, the market goes into recession in 2 months from now, which is already headed towards, and the stock declines in value. At the end of the year, you have to pay tax on the value of your investment. Now, it cost you $10,000, but today it's only worth $8,600. So you're going to have to pay taxes on $8,600, okay? But that was your money to begin with. You didn't earn anything. And next year, you'll have to pay taxes on whatever it's worth next year. If it's worth $15,000, you pay tax on that, even though you've not realized any gain. You'll never come out ahead. And if you have a stock like Lucara, the penny stock for the diamond mine in in Botswana that keeps unearthing these huge diamonds, then you're going to pay taxes that are more than the damn stock's worth over the course of the stock. Who would do that? It's stupid. Go to Georgia or something. Georgia, no thank you. Georgia is brutally humid. Georgia is overpopulated. Atlanta is an absolute megapolis disaster of epic proportions. I've been to Atlanta, even recently. No thank you. No. Georgia, nope. And what's the other one you said? South Carolina, nope. Too humid, too damp, too crazy. No thanks. Not going there. Arctic says, hiding my money under mattress of Kamala wins. Well, I've already got a couple spots picked out where I'm going to put the pickle jars full of cash hidden in ground. I'm not going to tell you where because it's all over. Silver coins, because I can afford those. I can't afford gold coins. I'll load up on silver. Gold's way overpriced right now, and I'll hope that silver will be sufficient to trade with people. No, the rest of Georgia is not lekker. I've been to Warner Robins Air Base. No thanks. Not my cup of tea. Oklahoma, no, it doesn't appeal to me. As I said, South Dakota's all right. I like South Dakota, Wyoming, the panhandle of Idaho. Yep, those are places. So where would be the best place for good weather? No woke. Well, California is that, but because of the wokeness that's out, you're looking for a benign climate. Well, that's tough. The Mediterranean climate is limited in the United States to California. There's nowhere else that has a Mediterranean climate. Southern California has that. We don't have that elsewhere. Oregon has decent weather, but also gets cold weather. Washington State gets cold weather as well, and rainy weather. There is no place like that, like California. There's no place like California. The East Coast of the United States is hit by high humidity, swamps, and once you get up above Maryland, you get the seasons that change. Maryland gets a little bit of cold weather in the wintertime, but not too bad. So there's, it depends what you want. I like seasons, and so that's why I like places a little bit further north. Arctic has space under the bed for the coins. Well, yeah, but where did the Dwarvos go? And then Environment says, thanks for all the hard work. Thank you, George. Thank you so much for your membership. Appreciate it. Yep. New EV battery tech using silver. Ooh, I didn't know that. Well, silver has, to me, always been a pretty good investment because you don't have to be wealthy to get into it. Let's see what the current price of silver is. It's fluctuated over the years. It goes up and down dramatically. Price of silver. Price of silver. Price of silver bullion. Silver bullion. Okay. $29 an ounce. I'm hearing a weird sound. Sorry. I was trying to take a look at. It's 95 cents a gram. Historic prices. Let me see if I can do 10 years. 10 years. Yeah, 10 years ago, silver was $18 an ounce. It dropped as low as $12 an ounce, $12.47 in 2020. But since then, it's gone back up 26 and it's floated in that range up to 29. So it's kind of at a peak. But yeah, silver is much more affordable than gold. Oh, I got my speakers up too loud. That's what it is. I was getting a lot of noise coming off speakers. Time to move to Simonstown. Yeah, Nick, there's one road in and out of Simonstown. No, not Simonstown. Somerset West, perhaps. Gordons Bay, more likely. But no way. I'm living in freaking Simonstown. Nope. Invested 300,000 gold and silver 3 years ago. In total, it's all worth. Okay. There you go. Well, that's great, man. That's fantastic. But the problem with that stuff is that you've either got to buy it and hold on to it. Whatever the case is, you always got to go through brokers to sell the stuff, and they always put these fees on. I had a gold coin that I bought years ago. It was a Krugerrand, not like a Krugerrand, but a small, not the Krugerrand, but the Maple Leaf, the Canadian one. I had a smaller one. It was not a full ounce. The price of gold tripled from the time I bought it, and I barely made any money off of selling it because all the damn fees. It's ridiculous. Message in a bottle. I don't know what that is. Hey, Leah, how you doing? Good to see you there. Garrett says $29. Hendo said 30. Okay, you guys found it before I did. Solid state EV batteries coming soon. That would be interesting. Solid state batteries. Buy lead instead. Yeah, well, I mean, I could turn lead into gold. I'm an alchemist. I could turn lead into gold as an alchemist. Anyway, so I did finish one of my lineups, but I got another one to do here for the Griquas. Haven't got that one done. So if you guys bear with me, because I've got to go live here in a few minutes. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? What are your thoughts? Silver? Platinum's another thing you can buy, but again, it's the same thing. Platinum is high in price. Gold is just really up there. It's like $2,400 an ounce right now. That's insane. A troy ounce, by the way, not just a standard ounce, but a troy ounce. Notice that we don't sell gold by grams. We sell it by troy ounces. So that's still relying on the British system there. Anyway, yeah, so any of your thoughts on silver? 2 roads out of Simonstown, you forgot. Okay, we can go 2 directions, but there's it's one little lifeline to get in and out of the town. I don't really like Simonstown. I don't like all those damn hills. And it's kind of gritty downtown. It's gritty. It really is. Whereas Simonstown's got tons of roads. You can get all over Simonstown. You got a highway in the middle of town. You got a highway along the coast. You've got roads everywhere. It's a cool spot. Mountains are there. It's gorgeous. You can get right back in the mountains pretty quickly. So I like Stellenbosch, but Stellenbosch is also kind of gritty, and it's not gonna cut it for me. But yeah, it's so I mean, it depends what you like, folks. It really depends what you like. Hey, we've got the Griquas on the road against the Bulls coming up here in about 13 minutes. The game will start after the top of the hour, but I'm going to go live at the top of the hour and give the lineup. So Silver Eagles and Silver Krugerrands. Can you get Silver Krugerrands, Hendo? I didn't know you could get Silver Krugerrands. Let me check on that. I thought it had to be gold to be a Krugerrand. Silver Krugerrand. Silver Krugerrand coin. Yeah, you sure can. I'll be darned. $35. Okay. Is that an ounce? You can buy it from Walmart. One ounce for 30. Here, somebody's got a 2 ounce one for $249. I don't think so. Okay. 2 ounce for $149. Why are they so expensive for 2 ounce? United States Gold Bureau, and why does it come up that way? It's $35.93, free delivery, tax $38. Silver Krugerrand. And here's another one. Failed to load. Walmart. Free delivery. That's... well, I didn't know Walmart sold Krugerrands. Let's take a look at silver eagles. Let's check those out. Silver eagle coin. Okay. All right. $95. What the hell? Oh, that's because these are historic ones. These aren't the actual. They're not now. U.S. Mint silver coins. I don't know what they were called. I thought they were called eagle. U.S. Mint silver coins. Yeah, no, there are none. It's just the old stuff. So I guess you have to get silver maple leafs. Let me see that. Silver maple leaf coin. $37, $33, 1 ounce. Okay. About the same as U.S. Okay. Been annually issued since 1988. All right. Well, there you go. Well, maybe that's an answer, folks. 2 silver Krugerrands. Okay, says Hendo. Okay, it's a full ounce of silver. Look for Mr. Kruger, an outfit in Pretoria. Yes, an ounce. Yeah. Now, I don't want to buy it in South Africa. I want to buy it here, and I can get them here. They're here. Buy some Scarface Liberty dollars. Yeah. Now the audience is soaring as we've been growing the whole time. The audience is soaring as it's time to wrap up and go over to do rugby, folks. But I'm not going to miss the Bulls. I got about 11 minutes to get there. You will be automatically redirected to that stream. If you want to join me over there, please do it. It's Curry Cup action. The Bulls in first place. Not likely to lose to the Griquas today, but the Griquas from time to time get pretty exciting, so it might be interesting to watch at Loftus. Looking forward to it. See you guys hopefully over there in a few minutes. Thanks for tuning in. That clock is behind again. It's always losing time. It's kind of like, a lot of people watch that clock behind me and they're like, you got the year wrong. It's not 2022, it's 2024. No, you've got the reading wrong. It's too far for you to see, but that's the temperature. The date is below that, August 23rd, but that's the temperature and the time. And over on the far left, you can almost make it out, are the days of the week that light up in white when you're on the day. So it's just Friday right there. All right, cool. All right, so there. So maybe silver's the answer. It's affordable, afford 1 or 2 of them, start accumulating them. But silver is a little high in price right now, so you just have to decide. But if we have chaos coming, it might be a way to acquire things. Who can afford the Krugerrands in gold? Not me. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Enjoy your weekend. Tomorrow we've got rugby. I don't know if I'll do news tomorrow. It depends on the weekend goes, but I'll certainly be doing the rugby on Rugby Ascendant and another game on Sunday morning. And then I've got a meeting I got to go to Sunday afternoon. But anyway, so thanks for tuning in. God bless. Have a good weekend. Be sure to hit the like button. Thanks for the super chats. Oh, wait, we didn't get any. Thanks for the new members. We didn't get any. Thanks for that. Caval says, when you did an overnight in Simonstown, where did you stay? I stayed at a place up on the hill overlooking the naval base. It was lovely. I found it on the website that I use to find a lot of places. It was pretty good. It was a good value for what I did. So, are the Bucks going to win the series 2 against the All Blacks? I think they can, Mr. Obi-Wan Kenobi. But if they go 1-1, it's not a disaster. It's okay. But winning 2-0, that means they'll secure the thing. They've got it locked down. All right. Cheers, folks. Catch you over there on Rugby Ascendant in a few minutes. Appreciate your time. God bless. Enjoy your weekend. And just remember, look, if things get crazy, just keep calm and praat Afrikaans. Cheers.